Yeah, hello everyone. Day 207 here at Industrial Fabrication Company. It was a great end of the week. We were a little short-staffed today with Overman out sick and Dan and Michelle out camping, but it was still a good one. We I had to kind of do some rust cleanup on these. You can still see there's some, but we've already gone over it with a wire wheel, which is what our customer asked for there. So making some headway on base number 11, and then we almost just have a little bit more welding to go on the base here, but everything else is done. And we got frame number 9 of 13 completed and weld tested. This will be base 10, so there's 4 more to go after this. So we're probably just a couple weeks out from being done, probably 2 weeks at max. Really great to see all that progress, and really continuing to move along well. But also today we kind of the new crew, kind of starting with Aaron and Ethan and Kurt and Gilberto. We were going through 2-second lean today, and it was on fix what bugs us. But what we started with on the previous one was last week was going through the 8 wastes. So we started today off with, hey, what are some examples of the 8 wastes that you have seen in the last week, and kind of had that as a homework and a good discussion on that. And we came through quite a few things, and one of the really good discussions that came out of that is, like you'll see here, we have leads draped along the ground, and in particular, one of the areas where that's annoying is we have the sweeper in there, but we have leads on the ground, and it doesn't go over the leads very well. So we're constantly having to move them around. And that led to a kind of multiple good discussions. One of those was, hey, a lot of the time we're having to move these around is because we have workbenches set out for smaller projects in the main area, and so we're having to pull leads from our power sources across to where they are. What if we had more dedicated workstations for smaller things that are under 1 ton that we can easily lift with a jib crane, kind of like this, but more flushed out. So anything small we're doing in these workstations, we have dedicated tools. We can color code everything. We can have everything set up, ready to go. We can feel confident in that, and we can get all that work done in the area. But then with that, have that documented and known, like, hey, this project, like every day, everyone knows this project is happening in this area. So if someone's starting to weld while stuff's being cut, then hey, once it's done cutting, it'll just come over to the area where it's going to be done, instead of going to an area in the middle first. So it's really awesome ideas there, and excited about getting that going. And what that could mean for us going forward, because we could have a workstation here, workstation there, and then obviously Jamie's got one here and Rastine's there, but we could put another one and another one. Where could we put more of those so that we have places to do that work for small stuff, so that this center area we can keep free all of the time for big projects, and utilize that. Utilize this space better and not be having to move stuff around quite as much for smaller things. Another thing that came out of that, right now we have this rack of plate, which is a logical place to have it. It's right next to the shear, which is where we'd primarily cut it. However, one of the problems this causes is, one, we're normally not cutting too much with the shear, but so this area is not used very much. But like right here, we're having to drape leads around from all over there. What if we moved these to a different area that then was still reachable by a jib crane, but then we could have a cart to move it over where we need it to, but we could put another power source over in this area that could service this area of the shop if we were doing a larger project. So just really a fantastic idea there. Really excited about extrapolating that out into what that could mean for us for the shop. There are other good learnings from that, but I'll save that for another time as we're able to start implementing those. Yeah, really happy with how the day went, and ready to celebrate 4th of July this weekend, and come back in. We're going to take the holiday Monday, so come back in Tuesday. So nice to everyone has a long weekend. Yeah, I think that's all. Sign off for now.